What's up, folks? It's Toasty Fresh, and I'm back with another video after an absence of 6 months, and that's mainly due to having our second daughter in May and having another 6-year-old running around and things like that, and being a full-time carer. It doesn't leave much time to have a recordable environment to record in. I'm trying to fix that now we've got into the groove of things, so hopefully I'm going to be coming back doing a lot more videos for you guys real soon. Anyway, let's get on to the task in hand. So today we're looking at Ps2 games and a mystery PC game that I picked up. I've got loads more to show you, but right now I'll just show you this chunk that I've got, and we'll get on with some more at a later date. First up is The Sims, which if you've been living under a rock or on the moon, you'll know what this is. And I've played the original, loved that. I had Sims busting out, so I kind of know what it's all about. I've not played any past this point though, so it'll be new territory for me, this part, and this all complete and looking lovely, and I picked that up for 99p from Cash Converters, so that was a big reason around getting it. And we've not got an it's not focusing right well there. Come on, what are you doing? Oh, there we go, we're focused again. Anyway, let's get on with it. This one, on paper, it sounds like a really dull game, just live and laugh. A little bit like the Harvest Moon games, where you run in a farm, you think, oh, that's boring, but really engrossing games when you get into them. This one, just living a laugh, job and all that, the various responsibilities of life that everyone does. But you have wacky scenarios as well and do what you want with it. A really fun game. I'm looking forward to trying out. I've also got Sims 4 to try out as well with having the EA access. Anyway, moving on, we're going back in time to ancient Rome, and we've got Colosseum Road to Freedom. This only cost me 99p, which is a bit of a bargain because I know this game is usually £8, around about the £10 ballpark. I bought this for somebody from Australia. We had a kind of designated Santa thing, and I got picked with this guy, paired with a guy in Australia, and this is the game he wanted. It was hard to get hold of. Sadly, I haven't got an instruction booklet with this one. And he could play PAL games, so I sent him this, so that's how I knew how much it was worth. And it's a game published by Koei, the guys behind Dynasty Warriors and the Kessen series most famously. And it's a kind of action game where you're a slave who's working as a gladiator to try and earn his freedom, hence the title, Colosseum Road to Freedom. And a little tidbit of information though, which I know from watching the Gladiator film. It's got a documentary on it. Most gladiator fats weren't to the death, in fact, because they were too valuable to waste. So a lot of the fats were not actually lethal, which a lot of films and media would have you believe. But obviously that doesn't make a fun film. Anyway, sticking with the swords and sandals theme, I've got Gladius, which was published and made by LucasArts, which is a bit weird because that's one of the rare games. I think there was only Thrillville that they published that wasn't a Star Wars or Indiana Jones game, like one of the film properties. This, again, sadly, no instruction booklet with it, but again, it only cost me 99p, and it was in the same bunch of games in Cash Converters, so maybe somebody liked their Roman games, that kind of thing. And so there might have been another one as well, I can't remember. But this is more of an RPG feel. It's about these two. A Roman kind of empire was taking over the world, and there was only like a Viking people to oppose them. And their ensuing war brought on this god of wrath who finally got sealed away. But from then on, they decided to settle the disputes with gladiatorial games, which then later on became a sport. This is kind of, you pick either a guy from the legions or a guy from a woman from the Viking tribes. And you follow through their story of them getting more well-known and building up a group of fighters in the Colosseum and their rise to fame and that kind of thing. But that's more of an RPG feel than the others. It's kind of, if you've ever played Space Hulk or XCOM, where you got tiles. Obviously, not exactly the same as that, but you've got so many spaces to move and actions to do within them. It's that kind of RPG. Anyway, moving on, I've got some platformers to show you guys. I've got Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy. There you go, that's the title there. You can't see it because of the price. That was £2.50. This was from Entertainment Exchange. And this was made by Eurocom, who usually were more involved in ports to like the Game Boy Advance, like they made Sonic Advance for the Game Boy Advance on behalf of Sega. They ported it over for them. And this was their only real standalone game that was all theirs, and it's just taken heavily from Egyptian mythology. Like the main villain is Set, the evil god, who's the real evil god in Egyptian mythology, and they even take some of the names like Tutankhamun there. Is the prince, and who's the cursed mummy of the title. He handles the kind of puzzle solving, and your main character there, Sphinx, he handles all the platforming and the action scenes. And it looks kind of good. I haven't really tried it yet, but it looks an interesting platformer, and one that's going to be cool to try out. I neglected platforming in this area, so I've got a lot of great games like Vex and some of the others, Ratchet and Clank, all those to play through and enjoy. And Maximo, I've got a lot of platforming games now to go ahead and try. And another famous platformer here, Spyro. This is Enter the Dragonfly. It set me back £6.50 from Entertainment Exchange. And this marked the exit of Insomniac Games from making them. And they went on to make the Ratchet and Clank games, another very famous platformer. I've only played a bit of the original Spyro, and it's the same kind of theme in this one. Somebody steals dragonflies, and he's got to go around doing it. The first one was his dragon friends were imprisoned in Stone. He had to rescue them. This is a similar kind of theme. It was made by Swing 6, and later on, the follow-up to this was actually made by Eurocom, the guys behind this game. They made A Hero's Tale, the follow-up to this. So that was another game they were actually involved in. But like I said, that's the only standalone one that was theirs. Spyro, obviously, they carried it on. And this game is meant to be a little bit of a dip in form, obviously because of Insomniac leaving, who were a great developer. This is meant to be a bit more so-so. Not a terrible game, but not brilliant. So I'll probably try that out and see what it's like at some point. I'll probably play through the first two first. Or is it three? The first three on the PlayStation 1. And we'll see how that goes. But that was just another one that I picked up. I'll show the next two both at once because they're both the same game and a sequel. I got myself Dragon Ball Z, Budokai, and Budokai 2. I loved the TV series to this. I used to watch it on Cartoon Network. And I think the first one, it was Toonami, I think it was called. I know later on they called it something different. That's advertised there, CNX. And I think it was also called Jetix or something like that. I used to watch it on there. I only got to like the Freezer storyline though, from what I remembered, and that was only 50p for the first one, and £1 for the second one. And they're in great nick. I actually got these in Preston cash converters while I was doing my driving theory test. Once I finished that and passed, I celebrated by buying myself a couple of cheap games. There wasn't much, to be honest, in the way of cheap stuff that I wanted, but it's all complete. And it's kind of a fighting game where you just play through a lot of scenarios and storylines from the TV series. And obviously, I think it was a manga as well before that, a well-known manga. And the same with this. This is just another updated version, really. And there's been a lot that have been released since. Like, my girlfriend went out and bought Xenoverse for the Xbox One. And coming up to my game, and probably my game of the video, the one I was most excited to get, not a PlayStation game, but a PC game, and this is Discworld Noah, which I believe was a real hidden gem on the PlayStation 1. Didn't get that much recognition and never gets mentioned in hidden gem discussions of any note, but it was an absolutely great little point and click taken from the Discworld universe, which Terry Pratchett was famous for making. An absolutely incredible author, and it was a sad day when he passed away. I think it was just after this, or just in between, just as the start of playing this game, I started reading his books as well, with The Colour of Magic. And it's a great little game, captures the kind of feel and the humour of the Discworld novels quite well. And it's just a good looking game as well for its time. It was released on the PlayStation 1, that's what I played it on back in the day. And it's a good little game. It's a kind of a send-up of all those kind of films like Maltese Falcon and Casablanca, those real film noir titles. The main character Newton, he's kind of a standalone in the game, but a lot of the other characters like Death, who you can see there, very recurring character, and the Death of Rats there, both recurring theme characters in the Discworld universe. And if you've read any of the books, you'll easily recognise a lot of characters like Corporal Nobbs of the City Watch, and Command of Arms, and Sergeant Detritus. They're all in it. And also another one that I only read recently, Gaspard the Wonder Dog, is in this. Not to spoil it for people, but a little bit of a spoiler there are some of the characters that are in this, and some others actually that are a little bit of a reference but aren't the actual characters from the game. And it's about him trying to solve a missing persons case that goes on to involve murder and intrigue and that kind of thing. I won't spoil the story too much. And but another interesting little fact as well before we wrap this up, it was only really voiced by 4 voice actors, this game. Plus I think there was the odd voice done by someone on the sound team. But Newton, amongst others, was voiced by Rob Brydon, who's doing those kind of cheesy cruise adverts now for cruise holidays. But he was in Gavin and Stacey and a lot of other things. That one where he played a chauffeur. And he's been in a lot of other stuff as well. Another character is Robert Llewellyn. He does a lot of the voices, which I don't know how the hell I didn't recognise him at the time, because I used to watch Red Dwarf late at night on BBC Two. He was Crichton in Red Dwarf. Also, the guy who played Neil from The Young Ones is in this as well. The kind of hippie dude, he played some of the characters in this. And for all the female characters, it was everybody's favourite guilty pleasure in the 90s. A lot of you young lads out there will remember Eurotrash, and it's the lady who did the narration for that. She does all the female voices in this. And as well, just before my time, she was involved with Spitting Image, but that was in the 80s, and I was a bit too young really to ever watch that. And it's not a show that ever gets really repeated or anything like that anymore. Another interesting thing about this as well is that for an adventure game, point and click game, it kind of innovated the notebook feature of having, you had a notebook, and every time you found a clue, clues went into your notebook, and that was a way of solving some of the clues. Like with other classic point and clicks where you could combine items, on this you could combine clues as well. When you got clues, you could put 2 clues together to formulate another kind of lead. So that was interesting, and it was a really good game. And if you like Discworld, you like the books, and you like point and click games, do yourself a favour and go out and get this game if you can. It's quite expensive to go out and get it on the PlayStation 1. It cost me £3 or £3.50 for this on the PC, so PC might be a bit more affordable. And another thing, I haven't found it on an emulator or anything like that either, so it is a bit of a hard game to track down if you ever want to get it. I did find one, but it was a bit screwy and it didn't work right, so I bought this game, and I'm glad I did, because the emulation I did find didn't actually work. But there you go. That's been some of what I've been collecting. That will be my game of the video, most definitely. And I'd just like to say, it feels good to be back. Hopefully, I'll do another video for you real soon, showing you some more games that I've done, do some more Let's Plays, and screw around and make some more ideas up with some content that I can do for you good people out there in the internet universe. Anyway, that's all I got time for. I hope this video finds all of you well and you enjoy the stuff that I'm going to be putting out. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.